educational and motivational here at Clubhouse. Get a better mindset and set your goals here at Clubhouse. Educational things you need to know here at Clubhouse. Like credit, home, buying loans, and much more here at Clubhouse. The space for education, motivation, and inspiration. Clubhouse. The space for education, motivation, and inspiration. Clubhouse.
Hey, hello, Erica. How are you doing today, honey?
Hey, I am
Can't
good.
hear you, honey. There you go. Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Welcome. Yes, I can hear you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Home Buyers Clubhouse, where we go live every Wednesday and every Friday. On Wednesdays, we give something inspirational and motivational, and on Fridays, we give something educational. Erica, how are you doing today, honey?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I see right now that somebody's been in my office and I hear my microphone sounding like I'm singing again. But anyway, y'all, it's Friday. Let me play with my voice right now.
I say I can hear you fine.
I got you. I was doing changing it in my ear. All right, y'all.
Oh,
So
okay.
today, look, we are talking about how much does it cost to buy a home, to buy a house, to get some real estate, period. So that's what we're talking about today. So according to the National Associations of Realtors, the average price to buy a home in the United States is about 385,000. Well, 384.8. So yeah. So we're gonna talk about the cost of buying a home. It can vary. So before we start talking, it can vary depending on the location, the size, and it's so many different factors. Erica, in lending, like what do you see a lot of in lending before we kind of get into this?
As far as how much house they can afford?
Yeah, period. Like throughout. Like so right now, I know you're in North Carolina, right?
hmm
So compared to the 384.8, what are you seeing? Do you see a lot of 384.8s? Are you seeing higher numbers, lower numbers? Like what are you kind of seeing?
I'm definitely seeing above 350 as the
Okay.
average in most of your larger cities. Now, some of the
Mhm.
smaller cities you can definitely do, I am seeing, 160, 190, stuff like that in some of your small rural areas, but the bigger
Mhm.
cities are usually above 350 as an average price.
Awesome. So let's talk about it then. So, everyone knows about one of the main costs. So I'm going to get those out of the way. And then we're going to talk about some that you may not realize may be in there. And then we're also going to talk about some ways that you can kind of get some money briefly. One day we're going to go a little bit deeper. But the first one that's on my list is down payment. Everybody knows about down payment. You got to have a down payment whenever you buy a house. Yes and no, sometimes and maybe. So the down payment amount is the money that you will need to pay up front whenever you buy a house. So the minimum down payment required is typically about 3%. Erica, you can come in a second of the purchase price, but some lenders may allow you to put down as little as 0%. However, just keep in mind that a lower down payment will result into higher monthly mortgage payments. Is that right, Erica?
That is correct. Most programs will range anywhere from 0 to 5% as your down payment options, depending on
Mhm.
whichever the programs are. But yes, the less money that you put down, the higher that monthly payment will be for you.
Awesome. So let's talk about that. So for the 0% down, we were having this conversation this morning how, we've been looking for more programs, but on April 1st, it was April Fools, but what happened on April 1st in North Carolina?
On April 1st, the North Carolina Housing went from doing an $8,000 down payment assistance to $15,000 for that particular program. They also have some community home loan programs that went from like $50,000 to some programs to
Mhm.
up to $100,000 in down payment assistance that you can stack on top of each other.
Yes, I was speaking to someone, they told me about $115,000. I was like, "Wow." So, yes, that was really exciting, especially for some of my buyers right now, with the rise in rates, that's kinda going on in this market, so it's causing them, oh, but there are different ways. We're gonna talk about that later this month. We've been getting creative with our buyers in this market, with the rise in rates and different ways to approach it. But let's continue because I don't want to get stuck on this. We only have a few minutes today. So
Right.
let's talk about closing cost fees that are associated with the purchase of the house, right? These
Mhm.
fees can include things like title insurance, appraisal fees, and origination fees. Closing costs typically range from 2 to 6% of the purchase price of the house. Erica?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So we good on that. All right. Let you want to add anything before I move on? We good?
No, but closing costs are, closing costs can definitely vary depending on the type of house that you buy, depending on the location of that house. But yeah, closing costs are something that is required to be paid.
All right. So well, I'm gonna let you answer the questions. I'm gonna stop talking about it then. So what's a mortgage? A mortgage is another thing. Explain to them what a mortgage is, because a lot of people think that they need to have $300,000 in their bank account to buy a house. Do you have to have $300,000 in your account to buy a $300,000 house, Erica?
If you don't want to take out a mortgage, then yes, you do. But in most cases, then no. That's what a mortgage is. That means you put down the initial down payment piece of it, which is
Hmm.
your 0%, 3.5%, 3%, 5%, whatever it is that you put down, and then us as a mortgage company, we will lend you the rest.
So can I get a mortgage if I already have a house?
You can.
Can I buy a house if I already have a house?
You can.
Awesome. So let's talk about this PITI that's included in a mortgage. So I know that kind of depends on the amount of your down payment and the interest rates and different things like that. But what is the PI and the T and the I?
That stands for principal, interest,
Mhm.
taxes, and insurance. So your principal and interest will remain the same. If you have a fixed rate mortgage, those two numbers will remain the same throughout the life of your mortgage. Your taxes and insurance can change. So that's going to
Mhm.
be the homeowner's insurance that you select that we will
Mhm.
then pay for as part of your homeowner's payment, and then your taxes. That's whatever the city or county then says these are the amount of taxes that are due, so that you don't have to pay all of that at once. We include that as part of your mortgage payment.
Awesome. So that's all included. You don't have to try to figure it out at the end of the year, pretty much.
Right.
So okay, so all right, so I have here let's talk. You said fixed mortgage. What's a fixed mortgage? Like, I mean, is that like whenever I get a mortgage, are all of them fixed? Like, what is that?
They're not all fixed. They do have some things called adjustable rate mortgages.
Mhm.
Um, I know there are some credit unions in this area that kind of specialize in the adjustable rate mortgage. And
Mhm.
basically, what that means is that when you get the mortgage, it's at one rate. And
Mhm.
then 5 years from that date, that rate can change, which means your principal and interest payments would then change.
But I see a lot of people that's afraid of an adjustable rate mortgage. Um, what do you think about that?
I think as long as so you understand what an adjustable rate mortgage is, it's a great option.
Mhm.
Adjustable rates, now they did get a bad rap back in the 2008, type thing, because that's when people weren't really aware of what adjustable rate mortgages were, but they had them, and then once that rate adjusted, now that payment went up higher, and it was more than what they could afford.
But
So,
I know
but
back
there are a
then.
lot of yeah, a lot of rules have been put in place to make sure that that particular situation does not happen. Um, there were not a lot of rules as far as mortgages back at that time. We did a lot of stated income,
Mhm.
which basically, if you came to me and told me that you made $100,000, then I took your word for it, and we gave you a loan based on what you said that you made. Now, it didn't matter that your job really only paid you $20,000 because you told me you made $100,000. Well, now I'm saying, okay, sure. Jesse said that's what she made, so this is what your payments are. But then
But
when
back
those
then.
payments went up to that, then you weren't prepared to pay for those things, and that's how a lot of people got in trouble with adjustable rate mortgages. But now there's rules in place where that does not happen.
Yeah, they didn't have caps back then, right? So that was kind of that was happening, they were taking advantage of a lot of people. I've heard some, they said that's what happened to my house back then or whatever.
Hmm.
That rate went up and they didn't know anything about it. They were just giving people houses and then not knowing what's going to happen next. So, yeah, you
Exactly.
shouldn't be
So
afraid because it's not like it was back in the day.
exactly. So people weren't aware that on this day your mortgage is going to then reset, and now your interest rate is going
Mhm.
to be this or that, or. And so now when you get an adjustable rate mortgage, then that's in your paperwork. It's clear in your paperwork that years 1 through 5, this will be your payment, but years 6 through 30, this is going to be your payment. So you're then able to know that upfront.
Okay. So let's talk about what a property tax is. I know we just mentioned that a few minutes ago. So property taxes, they are taxes that are assessed on the value of your house. Property taxes are typically paid annually and are used to fund local government services. And what a lot of people don't understand is when they say, Jesse, and how much is my closing cost going to be? I can't really tell you. For one, I'm not the lender, and I'm not going to sit here and try to guess what your closing cost is going to be because it's a list of 1,000 things that could be in there. But your lenders, they do add your property taxes in. They prorate them. They make you pay a certain amount for a certain amount of time. So it's a lot that kind of goes into it, which is why I, as your real estate agent, can't give you your closing cost amount, but your lender can give you a guesstimate up until about 3 days before closing because we don't really know because that could change if your closing date changes.
Right.
So, yes. All right. So, what's homeowners insurance? You mentioned that's included in your mortgage, but what exactly is that? Oh wait, yeah, that's a big. Never mind.
So
Yeah,
that
homeowners
that's the
insurance.
that's the insurance that protects the home in the event that you have some sort of incident. So whether it's wind damage, water damage, certain types of water damage, or your house catches on fire, any of those things, this is the money that you're paying into this fund so that your house will be rebuilt.
So, is it possible for me not to like include my homeowners insurance and my mortgage? Because I want my mortgage to be cheaper. So, do I have to include my homeowners insurance?
It depends on the loan type. There are some loan types that require it to be included and some don't. However, when you don't include it in your mortgage payment, usually your interest rate is going to be higher because that's more
Mhm.
risk to the lending institution. So if I know that the insurance is taken care of because I'm the person paying it, then, as a lender, then there's not as much risk. But if I leave it up to you to pay, what happens if you don't pay it and now your house burns down? Now this $100,000 asset that I've given you, you can't pay that back. So now as the bank, I'm out of the money.
Exactly. So also y'all, so in addition to all the things that we just mentioned, you have a lot of other costs and we're about to talk about those as well that you may not even think about whenever you're buying a home, right? So let's kind of talk about those because it's a few. Number one is we talk about it. Is your property inspection. Your property inspection is not required, but is highly recommended. And why do we recommend a property inspection?
Because it tells you what's wrong with the house. So it tells you things that you may not be able to get with a visual inspection. Like I may not know that the air conditioning doesn't work on a visual
Hmm.
inspection because maybe I toured the house the day where it didn't need air conditioning. But that's
Hmm.
definitely something. Air conditioning is very important to me personally. So that's definitely something I would want to know whether it works or not, or
So you
whether
got
the toilet is loose, or any of those type of things.
right, and I wouldn't recommend that you have someone that's not licensed to do a property inspection for you. People like to bring their parents to take a look at the property for them. Just pay that 300. A property inspection could range anywhere between 300 to 500,000. I mean, $500,000. Lord have
Oh
mercy.
Lord.
From 300 to $500. And we talk about this a lot whenever it comes to new construction. We just had a new construction inspection the other day. They found 31 things on this inspection. And some of it, like it's regular stuff, because they're still finishing the property up or whatever. But it was some stuff like the roof, some issues with the roof and different things
Hmm.
like that. So you definitely want to make sure that you are getting a property inspection, no matter whether the house is old or new. Get a property inspection. All right. So another cost is within your closing cost is your deed search and your transfer fee. And a lot of people don't understand because I've had some people that's paying cash and they want to know why you need a closing attorney. A closing attorney, they're going to do all this research for you. But one thing that they charge you guys for is a deed search and a transfer fee. And this could be up to like $100 to $200. So this is why these numbers add up so fast, that 2 to 6% in closing costs. This is how. And again, we already said it, but your homeowner's insurance, that can range anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a year. Erica, have you seen anything outside of that?
Homeowners insurance, like on a rather large house, like so on a $750,000 house, yes, it was probably like $400 a month. Depending on where it is, like is it close to the coast? Then you also have unique wind damage, stuff like that. So sometimes, but average is usually somewhere around that $100 to $200 mark.
Okay, so let's go back to your real estate attorney fees. So they're there to do a lot of title search. They're there to make sure that you don't move into this house and then somebody come knock on your door and say, "Hey, look what happened. I own this house." They didn't tell you, but I have part ownership in this house. So that's what the attorney's there for. The attorney is there to make sure that they are doing research. They're also making sure there are no judgments on you or the seller as well. They're checking these things because again, they want to protect your asset, which is your house. And also the lender, they're giving you all this money, it's protecting their asset as well. So the lenders do require certain things also. But a closing attorney is about $1,000 to $2,000. And yes, you can pick your own real estate attorney, but just make sure that they are in real estate. They are a real estate attorney.
Your
All
traffic
right.
attorney is not the same.
They're not the same. They're not the same. All right. So you also have your title expenses. Same thing that I pretty much just explained right now. It's similar to what the closing attorney does, depending on what state you're in, and this could be around $500 to $1,000. And another thing that you're going to see on there that a lot of people don't realize is the mortgage processing fees. As anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000. What are mortgage processing fees, Erica?
Those are going to be the fees that we do on the back end. So that's for all the stuff that we do. We send it off to the attorney. We're doing that also covers what our actual fees are. Like so most mortgage companies, they charge you an origination fee, all of that. So that's some of
Mhm.
the things that are included in that number. So your loan origination fees, the tax service fees, your flood certs, all of those type of things are included in that number.
Okay. And another number that we don't ever think about is moving expenses. Your
Mm.
moving fees, they can vary depending on the distance you are moving and the size of your belongings. The average cost of a local mover is anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000, and the average cost of a long distance move is $2,000 to $4,000. So yeah, and
And
again,
and even if you're
well,
gonna move yourself, if you're just getting your friends, you still have to think about the cost of the truck, the cost
mhm,
of the gas to put in said truck. Because we think
mhm.
about gas in terms of I think our own personal vehicles, but a U-Haul truck, it can cost you $150 just to fill up a U-Haul truck.
Yes. And you gotta pay the deposits and all of that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, when you're moving U-Hauls, they add up quick.
Right.
So yes. I use Thumbtack and Thumbtack as a resource to help me find like movers and different things if I need some repairs done. I just started using Nextdoor as well. So you can kind of go on there, get some reviews, get some feedback, get some advice from other people that's in the neighborhood on Nextdoor. So these are some of the apps that you could use to do your research whenever you are shopping around for movers. If you're doing renovations, a lot of people don't realize, like, a home is, especially if it's not new construction, even with new construction, you may want to do some painting and different things like that. So you definitely want to make sure that this is in your budget or you do some planning. And we always encourage everyone anyway, just take it like one step at a time. I had a client, he called me the other day and I was so proud of him. He said, "Jesse, I need you to help me find a house." I'm like, "What? You just moved like 2 months ago or whatever." But he was calling me to show me his blueprints. He when he bought his house, the upstairs, it was a bonus room, But if you open one of the closet doors, you know, it's unfinished attic space, it's so much
Mm.
space. And he sent me the blueprints. Oh my God, it's so dope. He's gonna put a theater up there. He's putting a theater, a gym, a loft, another bedroom, and another bathroom with a large closet space. But that's what we're talking about right there. And we talk about this a lot. If it's not what you want, can you make it what you want it?
Mhm.
No, and
So
he
he
has
had a
expensive
vision when
taste.
he bought that tech. Okay. See, I like that he
Oh
had a vision.
yes. Oh yeah, it took us a while to find him out, and then he finally decided. And he has expensive taste, but yes, he said you should see my house right now. So yeah, super excited. But renovations, put that in your budget, especially if it's not what you want. Can you make it what you want it to be? And some other things is a lot of people don't think about this. Appliances. Does the fridge come with the property? So that's something that you need to discuss with your real estate agent to see is the range in the property. So are you going to have to buy these appliances, your essential furnishings throughout the property, your curtains? Do you want curtains? Do you need blinds? Your carpets, do you need carpets throughout the house? And also, like I said, you may be moving from a smaller place to a much larger place. Just again, make a list of everything you're going to need and just take it one step at a time. That's it. Erica, you got anything you want to add?
I will also say I feel like another thing that people don't think about is utility deposits, or for, the
Woo.
deposits you need at your new residence for to turn on your water, or to turn on your lights, or
Yes.
to get your cable transferred, because you're moving out of this house over here, so you're not really transferring cable because it's an overlapping period. So now I got to establish a new service at this house over here before I
Yes.
turn the services off over there. So that's another thing I think that people don't really think about.
Yeah, and they hear us say this a lot. We say this all the time. Don't start spending money until you close on the property. Get your essential things done, like transferring your utilities and different things like that. But outside of that, don't start spending money on furniture. Don't start doing that because this stuff can add up very quickly. And it's very important to sit down and write what you're going to need out and kind of shop and get the numbers together to kind of set up a budget or a plan to see how are you going to approach this. But you need to make sure that you do the important things prior to closing, preparing for your closing costs, preparing for your down payment, preparing for your utility transfers and your inspections, your appraisal that you have to pay for as well. Because I'm telling you guys, this stuff adds up quick. And in
Mhm.
this market right now, it's a good idea. Why the market is slow. A lot of people they're kind of holding back because of the rising interest rates. But right now, what you could do in this market is see if you can get you some seller paid closing costs, some seller concessions up front. Discuss it with your real estate agent. Don't be afraid to tell your agents or your lender that you're short on funds. But definitely, you want to have that conversation with both of them because we're thinking that you're good to go, and then all of a sudden, we don't know what's going on. And like
Right.
I said, I tell the story all the time about my two clients. I had one client that didn't communicate, that they didn't have that money anymore, that it disappeared out their account. And then we had the other client that told me up front, like, Jesse, I don't have that money. I said, well, you need to call your lender. Call your lender right now. And it was like, as soon as we wrote the contract, I discussed it with him and he was honest, like, I don't have that. Well, actually, I think he kind of thought about it and then came back and told me, I don't have it. But he waited like a day, but he told me it's just the fact that understand that we're not judging you and we're not here to judge you. Our job is to help you. Okay. So there are ways to
Abs-
get funding if you don't have it, but you got to be honest and you need to express that with us so we can help you guys up front.
I would absolutely agree with that. I would say, we are a team as far as,
Hmm.
you yourself, the realtor and your lender. We're all part of a team. We need to know things so we can get in front of it. Um, Whether it's, hey, you owe a past due tax bill, or hey, I've had some child support that, was being garnished, or whatever it is. Like, don't let me find out about those things 3 weeks from now when I could have helped you if I knew about those things today.
Yes. Be honest and upfront, y'all. And that's the first thing that we tell you. We're not going to judge you. And I think never mind, Jesse. That's a different story. It's time for us to go. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in today. If y'all have any questions about closing costs or any fees or anything like that, anything that we discussed today, feel free to inbox us. You can message us online, or however you want to get in contact with us. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Erica. Either way, we'll get your questions answered. So yeah, again, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I'm a triangle realtor with A to Z Realty, and you can reach me at 919-818-9854. Miss Erica.
Hey, I am Erica Batts. I am your mortgage loan officer. You can reach me at 919-608-7916, or you can reach me at ericabatts.com.
Awesome, you guys. Y'all can reach us in the clubhouse at www.thehomebuyersclubhouse.com. You can find us on Facebook in our group or on our page at Homebuyers Clubhouse. Hold on. And you can find us on YouTube at The Homebuyers Clubhouse. We hope you guys have a great day. Oh, happy Easter. Y'all have a safe holiday.
Happy Easter.
Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.